take two. So we're going to start off with Birchas Hagomel. So that is a blessing that is typically said when someone has been in a life-threatening situation, for example, childbirth. So we're going to go ahead and see that now. And in case any of you are wondering, Rav Herschel Schachter has given permission for this to be said over a video call. And if anyone's interested as well, I can send you the link to that as well. Cool. So Sarah, if you want to go ahead and say that.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hagomel l'chayavim tovot shigmalani kol tov.
Amen. Misha Kamalach Kol Tov, Hu Yigamalach Kol Tov, Sarah. Okay. And of course, the bit that you're waiting for is the name, so we'll get that out of the way. So yeah, you can all just hear it. Okay. So we're going to start off with what's called now the Misha Beirach prayer. So that's typically said when a baby girl is named in shul. So that includes things like wishing a speedy recovery to the mother, the baby, and I'm going to announce the name and wish that the baby should live a life of Torah and marriage one day and good deeds. So I'm going to go ahead and read that now.
I'll do it in English, and I'll do it in English afterwards.
Misha Beirach Avosenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Moshe Aharon David Shlomo Hu Yivarech v'Yorapeh Es Ha'isha Ha'yoledes Sarah Chaya Bas Rivka. Amen. V'es Bita Hanolda La B'Mazel Tov V'Yikarei Shema B'Yisrael Ayala Margalit Leah Bas Daniel Ze'ev v'Sara Chaya. Ba'avor she'ba'ala v'aviha yitin tzedakah ba'aviram b'schazeh yizku aviha v'ima l'gadla l'sara l'chuppah l'masim tovim v'namah amen.
Amen. And in English, may he who blessed our fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Moses and Aaron, David and Solomon, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless the woman, me, Sarah Chaya, daughter of Rivka, who has given birth, and her daughter, who has been born to her as an auspicious sign, and may her name be called in Israel, Ayala Margalit Leah, daughter of Daniel Ze'ev and Sarah Chaya. Her husband, the child's father, is making a contribution to charity. As a reward for this, may father and mother merit to raise her to a life of Torah, to the marriage canopy, and to good deeds, and let us say Amen.
Amen.
Okay. So we're not going to play you a song.
Okay, so we're going to sing you Hamal HaGoel. It's a verse from Parshat Vayechi in the book of Bereshit in Genesis. It's often sung to children as a lullaby. It's a blessing that was given by Jacob to Joseph for his sons. And it translates as, may the angel who has redeemed me from all bless the children, and let my name be named in them, and the name of my fathers, Abraham and Isaac, and let them grow into a multitude in the midst of the earth. So, without further ado.
Okay. Make sure you can see us okay. Think so? Yeah.
I think so.
Ready?
Okay.
Hamalach HaGoel Osim Yikorah Yevarech Es Haniyarim. 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 V'shem Avosai, V'shem Avosai, Avrom The shame of our time, the shame of our time, our wrong, the it's gone. The heat to the right, the heat to the right, carry on. The shame of our side, the shame of our side. From the it's on, the heat to the right, the heat to the right, the caravan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mazel tov.
Okay.
Mazel tov.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we've got it tonight.
So where's the time?
Okay. Everyone see us all right? Yeah. Good. I think.
Where's the time?
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, thank you everyone for dialing in today. I'm not really very good at speeches, so I'm going to keep this short.
That's good.
Let's start with the reason you're all here, the baby's name. So as you heard in the Misha Beirach, her Hebrew name is Ayala Margalit Leah. So Ayala translates to a female deer.
Yes, dear.
Margalit means pearl, and Leah was named after my maternal grandma Leela, whose Hebrew name was Golda Leah. I was very close to my grandma Leela, as I was to all four of my grandparents, but I was blessed to know. She was very warm, smiley, and always willing to help others, something which she did a lot in her role as the wife of a rabbi. Her English name is Ayala Margot. Margot also meaning pearl in French. When Sarah and I first started discussing names, I suggested such treasures as Xavier, Bruce, Clark, Logan, and other names of superheroes. I also suggested John, Paul, George, and Richard, and Liam and Noel, but Sarah quickly dismissed all of these suggestions. Eventually, Sarah said that we had to have a serious discussion on names before I found out the gender of the baby, as Sarah wasn't planning on finding out. So, for those of you that know me well, it won't come as a surprise to you that I started with a spreadsheet. Soon afterwards, it became clear to us that the spreadsheet won't be able to provide us with enough fine-grained ranking on the names we had. 53 boys' names and 75 girls' names. So I did the only natural thing possible. I made a website. The name game, as it's called, allowed us to input our lists of names, and it would then help us to decide which names we liked more than others. After we spent many, many hours on the website, we still didn't know what name to call the baby, although we were, of course, much closer to deciding. This is where the whole logical versus out-of-the-box thinking comes into it. I, a mathematician and software engineer by training, tend to take a logical approach to thinking about things, whereas Sarah, the artist, tends to be more out of the box when it comes to approaching things. It was this combination of approaches that enabled us to finally decide on a name. In case you're interested, Ayala was actually our #1 ranked name. My blessing to our baby, Ayala Margot, Ayala Margalit Leah, is that she should learn to think both logically and out of the box, with intuition, as both approaches are necessary to lead a meaningful and fulfilling life. When she learns her first daf of Gemara, she will learn to use her logic skills, but she must also keep in mind the heart and the love of learning Torah. Learning Gemara and other Torah cannot just be a cold logical exercise, similar to learning maths, although I will argue to you that learning maths can be fun as well. Rather, learning Torah is something that should be done with, to paraphrase Jack Black, your head, your mind, your brain, and your heart. I also hope that Ayala will learn to develop a love for music, something that is very much an intuitive and soulful art. But she will also learn from me that music is very logical and mathematical if you know what you're looking out for. And to finish it off, the birth of a new baby won't be complete without wishing for Ayala Shatisku Legadla, Latar, Lachupa, and Masim Tobin.
Okay. All right. I have a big box of tissues here, so bear with me. Okay. One of my favorite bands is an Israeli group called Alma. I discovered them in the summer of 2010 while browsing in a clothing store in Jerusalem, their first album playing overhead. When I had one foot out the door, I turned around to ask the sales associate what the name of the band was, and then made my way across the street to Tav Hashmini, a nearby music store, to buy the album. Since that time, they have produced 2 more records, and their music has always served as strength, consolation, artistic muse, and prayer for me. Their lyrics, often biblical, but also original compositions, capture the breadth of human love and anguish, somehow managing to express the deepest feelings we experience in song and sound. My favorite song for them is written by Israeli poet Yonah Volach. It's called Shir. Its lyrics and motifs have been scrawled and illustrated in many sketchbooks, scrap pieces of paper, and the occasional Adirondack chair at Camp Stone. The words are simple and full of longing, a person observing an Ayala, a gazelle, drinking water from a brook hidden in the cliffs. It's one of those songs that lose all meaning when translated from Hebrew to English, so I'm not going to try. Throughout the years, I've always kept coming back to the song, and it's always stirred something within me, always resonating with whatever I was experiencing at the time. So for reasons that are not logical, and truly from someplace beyond rational decision-making, where emotions run deep and instinct, along with intuition, reign, I knew there was no other name I could call this daughter of ours. And as Daniel said, logic played a role in this. Choices she made, whether they be determined by her heart or her mind, that she's a force of goodness in the lives of everyone she encounters, that she surrounds herself with people and experiences that broaden her perspective and discover passions that define her. I've tried to sit down and write this several times and have been at a complete loss for words. The magnitude of this, of articulating blessings and hopes for a child, is just too great. I wish everything from her, and some of those things she will be blessed with, other things she might not be. And there will likely be challenges she encounters that we will not be able to navigate for her. I pray that she travels through life with an attitude and disposition that allows her to accept the good and bad with grace and grit, to be thankful for the things that go well and come to her with ease, to always recognize good fortune when it comes to her, and to never take it for granted, and that the memory of those positive experiences lift her up when she needs to be reminded of how capable and wonderful she is. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are moved by how many of our friends and family were able to celebrate this occasion with us. Despite the crazy time we live in, if not for it, we would not have come together like this today, and we can't wait to share her with you in person.
Thank you.
Thank you. And this has been recorded, so if it came late or if you want to share it with somebody, we are happy to send it along to you. Anything else?
Nothing.
I think that's everything.
Yes. Thank you.
Mazel
Thank
tov.
you.